The book opens with Johann Hari recognizing that something essential in his life has slipped away. He can't focus the way he used to, can't stay absorbed in books, conversations, or even his own thoughts. Rather than dismissing this as personal burnout, he realizes the crisis of attention is global, affecting friends, colleagues and entire communities. This sets him on a long journey across the world to understand why staying focused has become so difficult for nearly everyone. Hari begins by confronting the myth that our declining attention is a personal failing. Although he admits that his habits, endless notifications, constant multitasking, a racing mind, were part of the problem, he soon discovers that the forces shaping our attention are systemic. Companies and technologies are designed to lure us into distraction, not because we're weak but because distraction is profitable. He travels to Silicon Valley and meets designers who reveal that apps aren't neutral tools but psychologically engineered traps. Infinite scroll, notifications, autoplay and intermittent rewards are deliberately crafted to keep users engaged, and therefore exploitable, as long as possible. Hari realizes that every moment he feels pulled to his phone is not an accident but the result of billions of dollars of research aimed at hijacking human attention. Seeking deeper causes, he turns to neuroscientists who explain that attention is not a single function but a collection of mental abilities, sustained focus, vigilance, mind-wandering, and executive control. All of these are fragile and shaped by environment. Chronic stress, sleep deprivation, constant interruptions and information overload degrade these functions in ways that most people don't notice until they're already struggling. Hari explores how modern life fragments us. Our days are sliced into micro-interactions, emails, messages, alerts, leaving no uninterrupted time for deep thought. He learns that every switch comes with a cognitive cost. What feels like speedy multitasking is actually rapid switching, each shift leaving a residue that makes the next moment harder to process. Over time, the brain adapts to shallow engagement, making deep work feel uncomfortable or impossible. He meets researchers studying the declining ability to read deeply. Long-form reading, once a default for many, now feels like an outdated skill. Hari discovers that reading comprehension drops sharply when people consume text on screens filled with distractions or jump between tabs. He starts tracking his own reading endurance and finds he must retrain his mind to tolerate sustained concentration the way one might rebuild a muscle after injury. His investigation expands beyond technology into broader societal forces. He examines how stress from inequality, overwork and financial precarity shrinks cognitive bandwidth. People consumed by economic strain have fewer mental resources to spare, making distraction more appealing and focus more elusive. Hari realizes attention isn't just a personal psychological issue, it's deeply political. He turns to the role of food and environmental toxins that may impair cognitive development, including certain chemicals and ultra-processed diets that affect memory and attention span. While the science is still developing, he finds enough evidence to suggest that the world we've built is hostile to the biological foundations of focus. Sleep emerges as another critical piece. He learns that most people live in a chronic state of sleep restriction, which demolishes attention and mood. Blue light, late-night work and constant stimulation disrupt the natural rhythms that help the brain restore itself. Hari reflects on his own irregular sleep patterns and begins restructuring his evenings with quiet rituals that allow his brain to settle. One of the book's most striking revelations comes from researchers studying mind-wandering. Hari learns that the ability to let the mind drift is not a sign of distraction but an essential part of creativity and problem-solving. But constant stimulation wipes out the space where wandering occurs. To reclaim creativity, he starts scheduling unstructured time, long walks, quiet moments, uninterrupted stretches without a device. Hari also looks at how children's attention is collapsing under the pressure of hyper-scheduled lives, overstimulating media, and reduced opportunities for play. He meets educators who show that when kids are given outdoor time, freedom to explore and less reliance on screens, their focus and emotional regulation improve dramatically. He wonders what kind of future is being built for a generation trained to be constantly interrupted. As his research concludes, Hari sees that the problem is far bigger than individual willpower. The systems shaping modern life, economic, technological, educational, push us toward distraction. But he refuses to surrender to fatalism. Instead, he argues that while personal strategies matter, real change requires collective action, regulation of tech platforms, redesign of cities, rethinking work culture and reclaiming time as a shared value. He begins applying the insights in his own life. He creates device-free zones, takes extended breaks from social media, and redistributes attention toward hobbies that nourish him. None of this is perfect or easy, but he finds that small actions compound. Each reclaimed moment of focus strengthens the next. Through personal storytelling woven with scientific exploration, Hari shows that attention is a human right as much as a personal skill. Losing it makes life feel flat and frantic, as though we're skimming along the surface of experience. Reclaiming it allows depth, connection and presence to return. The book closes with a hopeful vision. Focus is not something stolen irreversibly but something we can demand back, with awareness, with courage and with the collective insistence that human beings deserve more than a life spent clicking, swiping and scrolling.